In this video, I will show you how to play as Serbia in EU4 by crushing the Ottomans early and setting yourself up for the Lazarus achievement. Let's begin. So before you do anything, you need to make sure that Hungary does not rival you. This is not necessary to play the game, but will make your time much easier. And this guide will revolve around you being allies with the Hungarians. Not only will the Hungarians help us in our first war against the Ottomans, there is a second reason that I will explain shortly. For the estates, you want to give the monarch point privileges as usual, increase levies and supremacy over the crown to the nobility, clerical ministers and oversight by the clergy to, well, the clergy, and finally, free enterprise and patronage of the arts to the burghers. I do not recommend taking the burgher loans on day 1, instead we will do that when we declare war on the Ottomans. You should hire the Free Company in a province bordering Bosnia, and while I never noticed that they get any big allies in my test games, if they do have a big one then you should probably restart. Because of the Free Company, you can unlock a mission, but I recommend keeping it until you declare war. You should set your national focus on mill and hire a mill advisor, and if you can get a Diplo reputation or improve relations guy, then hire him as well. If you don't have one, then don't worry. Now for your diplomats. Send one to improve relations with Hungary and another to build a spy network in Bosnia. You should also set your attitude as threatened towards the Ottomans and scornfully insult one of Hungary's rivals, such as Bohemia. You will probably be able to RM Hungary first before allying them, but regardless, you will be able to ally them before they even turn friendly. As for the rivals, you should rival Bosnia before you declare the war, alongside Herzegovina, Wallachia, or just any small nation really. You will be eating and eclipsing these nations early on in the game, granting you a lot of power projection. Now just set army maintenance to 0 and speed 5 until your Bosnian spy network is around 15. Crank up the army maintenance and send your army to the Bosnian border. You will fabricate a claim on one of Bosnia's provinces and declare war with the Conquest CB. I have only ever seen Bosnia ally with Sili, so this war will not be a challenge. Just attack the Bosnian army in their capital and lay it to siege with your army. I did not click on the mission earlier, but once your relations with Hungary hits 100, you can take a mission that gives you Belgrade for free. This will further allow you to take a mission giving fort defense in Belgrade and 100 mill power. This is extremely useful as we will be getting mill tech before everyone else. Also, you should have a diplomat currying favors with Hungary. Now you can just speed 5 if you want. We'll wait for the Bosnian capital to fall. Once it does, you can move your army to the last Bosnian province, stack wipe their army, and go siege Sili. Now it's just more speed 5ing until Sili falls. Once it does, I recommend just taking money, force religion, and anything else that gives prestige. If you want to, you can even vassalize Sili, though I didn't do it for this guide and I don't recommend doing so unless you can deal with it. You should start building a spy network in Herzegovina from now. They'll be our next war target. When you peace out Bosnia, just full annex them and take their money. Right after I peaced out, I was also warned by the Ottomans, but this is not a problem. We will be fighting the Ottomans after our war with Herzegovina. Oh, and remember to concentrate your new Bosnian lands before coring them. You should also start improving relations with Austria during this time. I don't know how consistently you can ally them, but they will be especially useful in our war against the Ottomans. You can also build more units in your army even though you'll be going over force limit. So my army was now 11,000 strong alongside the 4,000 strong Free Company. Anyways, back to Herzegovina. Now that your spy network is at 20, declare war on them. In my game, they were only allied to Wallachia, so once again, this will be no challenge. Send your main army to attack their army while your Free Company takes Hum. And after you stack wipe them, have the Free Company besiege the fort, but you should keep your main army nearby. In my game, I made the mistake of rushing to attack Wallachia, which allowed them to attack my mercs in Herzegovina, resetting the siege and making the war longer than it should have been. But in the end, I just humiliated Wallachia, took their money, war reps, and broke some alliance for prestige. And then I full annexed Herzegovina. What was a little unfortunate was that Ragusa did not declare war on them. If they did, then you can vassalize Herzegovina and annex Ragusa in a defensive war. However, it doesn't matter too much since Ragusa will be annexed after the Ottoman War. By this point, you should disband the Free Company, but we will hire them again for the Ottoman War. We are doing this because the Free Company's size scales with our development, and since we've expanded quite a bit since the start, the mercs will be bigger. Once you've allied Austria, you should now curry favors with them until 10, and if you're struggling to ally them, always remember to get a Diplorep advisor if you can, or scornfully insult one of their rivals. Now it's just speed 5 until we get those favors. In the meantime, you can destroy the fort in Smederevo and build a new one in Kosovo. We will be sinking any spare dev that we have into Kosovo because of the gold mine, which is useful for the early game economy. Another thing to consider is the Patriarch icon. I recommend taking the icon of Saint Michael, the military one, because, well, we'll be fighting the Ottomans shortly. But after some speed 5ing, you should have 10 favors with Austria. This means you can now declare war on the Ottomans and call them in. What was extremely unfortunate was that Hungary had changed their attitude towards the Ottomans and didn't want to join, despite me spending favors to prepare for war. But we don't need Hungary. With the help of Austria and the Ottomans declaring war on Albania, we can win this war easily. I don't know how often the Ottomans declare war on Albania. If they don't, then they might be fighting the Beyliks or something. Anyways, take out the burgher loans, sell Crownland, and send your armies to the Ottoman border. Along with the Free Company, hire 2 more mercs, especially one with shock and siege generals. Once their morale is at around 3/4, it's time to declare war. Well, it's time. Declare war calling in Austria and Hungary if you can. The Ottomans were besieging Albania's mountain forts, so I asked Albania for military access and attacked them there. If you're in a similar position to me, then this is too good of an opportunity to miss. The Ottos will be getting -2 on their dice rolls, making for some easy and early victories. Keep your armies close by and besiege Selanik. The Ottos will engage you, but you can win with quick reinforcement, such as in this example, where one of my armies was wiped, but my mercs pulled together and, after extreme struggle and the Austrians saving me, I won. Or well, we won. Thank you, Austria. And you should be winning these battles too, especially if Hungary actually joined you in the war. So now it's me, Austria, Albania, and Venice sieging down the Balkans. Don't forget to build a spy network in the Ottomans for faster sieges, and keep your armies near the Austrians. Take engagements when you outnumber the enemy, and this war will become easier and easier after each battle. After you take Selanik, move to Gelibolu and Constantinople. Or should I say, El Constantiniya. Anyways, after a while, you can start disbanding some of your merc companies. At this point, the Hungarians had finally changed their attitude and I called them in. But I hope I proved my point that you don't need the Hungarians to beat the Ottos. You need Austria. When Constantinople falls, you can now cross the Bosphorus, if the Ottomans don't have it blockaded. This may or may not be the case depending on if Venice is in your war. If they aren't, then you can just chill in the Balkans and accumulate ticking war score. But if you can cross the Bosphorus, then do so. Your Austrian and Hungarian friends should join you. But at this point, everyone was in the party. The Knights, Venice, and even the Mamluks were now in Anatolia. This still isn't a big deal, as long as you occupy Biga. You can honestly peace out at this point if you want, but I wanted to go further. I captured Ankara and my allies did the rest of the work, going deeper into Anatolia. When it comes to the peace, this is what I took. If Byzantium is dead, then you can release them as well as Bulgaria. But it isn't an issue if they're still around. Like in my game. Just make sure to take Selanik and the strait across to Anatolia. Despite hiring all the mercs, I still had only 1 bank loan besides the burgher loans. But even if you are in crippling debt, then this is your time to take war reps and some ducats from the Ottomans. You won't get all of the money, but you should be getting at least 1/3 of it. Isn't it beautiful? Now just look at that thick Serbia stretching across the Balkans. So after you spend 15 minutes admiring this map, you should release Bulgaria. We can reconquer their cores in our future Ottoman wars. Don't forget to concentrate your Greek lands before coring it. You can also disband your merc companies and pay off your loans, but I took the burgher loans a second time to rebuild my army. And now, the Ottomans are at war with Venice and the Mamluks. They are effectively neutralized for the rest of the game, so your biggest threats will now be, well, Venice and the Mamluks. Since the Ottomans are now too weak to defend Ragusa, I began fabricating a claim on them. And once the claim was made, I declared war and called in Hungary because, honestly, why not? I had excess favors with them and didn't really want to deal with Ragusa's allies in the Pope and Epirus, even though I was capable of doing so. And because Hungary is carrying us, we are now just chilling. Kill rebels whenever they pop up, casually expand your army when your economy allows for it, and enjoy this easy Lazarus setup. So now that the video is over, do you think I should continue my game as a narrated let's play? Like the video and tell me what you think in the comments.